When it comes to seaside destinations, there's one location that attracts us Brits more than anywhere else on the planet. With an amazing climate, beautiful coastline and rich, diverse history, it is no surprise that people flock to the shores of the Mediterranean. Bordered by Europe, Africa and Asia, this sea in the middle of the land has a coastline stretching 28,000 miles and attracts a staggering 1/3 of the world's international tourists. But there is so much more to this place than just summer holidays. It's somewhere people love to call home. I mean, can you imagine waking up over there with a view like this every single day? On my journey around this diverse region, I'll explore the fascinating architecture.
And this is an extraordinary space. Everywhere you look, there's these incredible framed views.
Get hands-on to experience life as a local. Right, OK, rose petals, rose petals, rose petals. And meet the lucky people with truly amazing homes by the Med.
I'm noticing a rather finely located hammock.
You've actually got to book a spot for it in the summer months.
This week I'm in France on the dazzling Côte d'Azur, where simple facades reveal sensational views. Painted palaces hide Mediterranean masterpieces. And epic houses connect ancient history and Hollywood glamour.
If Brigitte Bardot has swam in that pool.
Yes. You've got Roman ruins, you've got Brigitte Bardot, I mean, it's all here. Côte d'Azur gets its name from the blue colour of the water that gently laps against the shoreline. It's known for its glitz and glamour, and the French Riviera has been the playground for the rich and famous since the 18th century. Located in southeastern France, the Côte d'Azur stretches 150 miles from Marseille in the south to the border with Italy. It's a coastline that oozes sophistication from Monte Carlo and Monaco through Cannes, right down here to Saint-Tropez. Bringing me stealthily ashore is a luxury motor launch that befits a James Bond movie. And I could certainly imagine the super spy sipping martinis on board the super yachts moored here. Once a simple fishing town, Saint-Tropez, as it's known, shot to fame in the 1960s as Hollywood descended on this coastline for festivals and film shoots. And their influence is clear to see today. Despite the best efforts of super yachts and supercars to monopolise your attention, you can't help but notice the beauty of the townscape. Lovely, pastel-coloured buildings, very tall and narrow, clustered together with beautiful southern French shutters. It creates a wonderful backdrop upon which is played out the theatre of the super rich. Underneath the townhouses, chic harbourside cafes do brisk business, ideal spots for gazing enviously at the privileged aboard their floating palaces. But it's tremendous properties, not people watching, that's lured me to the French Riviera. The first fantastic home on my Côte d'Azur agenda lies around 6 miles northeast across the Bay of Saint-Tropez in the town of Les Isambres. Hidden away behind sliding wooden gates and concealed by lush foliage is a low-key home of white rendered walls and dusky pink pantiles. From the street side, there are intriguing hints of this home's beautiful details. But it's only when you're through the front door. Hello, John.
Hi, Charlie. Welcome.
Wow, that's not what you expect, is it, from the front of the building? That this property's true splendor reveals itself. Oh, look at that. A view to take your breath away. It's a home that's been designed to maximize that wondrous scenery, with 24-foot-high floor-to-ceiling windows running along the seaward-facing facade. It was built 3 years ago by John Brash, who runs a brand agency that gives top companies desirable identities, something he's achieved with this home.
It's quite modern, quite linear, quite bold interior with just great views, and it was the view that we were really trying to get. Everything's really about the view.
I didn't really expect that from the outside because it looks single-storey and quite low-key.
Absolutely.
That's not low-key, is it? Look at that.
Well, that's the surprise we were wanting when we did it all. Something that was very understated, and then, wow, you get the big view.
Nothing here distracts from that visceral, external experience. On the upper floor, 3 deliberately unassuming bedrooms employ simple white walls and furnishing. Natural elements such as rich Bosnian oak paneling provide an injection of warmth to the minimalist spaces. It's a very stripped palette, isn't it? Very simple, classy materials. Lovely. That wood is great, the way it comes through, just sort of as a frame, but it keeps that beautiful line of the floor, comes down, and you've got this lovely panel by the stairs. Are these cement tiles?
No, they're just ceramic tiles, actually. They look like cement, but they're just fantastic. And again, it's really important in the summer that they actually keep the whole place rather cold, which is quite nice. And I think it was about, for us, just picking simple materials that were just good quality.
You've got this white plaster, but even when you've introduced texture, it's done in a very controlled way, isn't it?
Absolutely.
While the interiors may be restrained, the split-level, open-plan layout makes it the perfect place to let your hair down.
Different times of the year with different groups of friends visiting us, the whole place just comes alive, and that's what the excitement is about, that you've got a lovely, almost like canvas in here, and life is the energy. I
think we've just discovered the perfect excuse for mess, haven't we? It's the mess that makes the house.
Absolutely.
I like that. But also you've got this great level change here. You've really exploited the site, haven't you, to get that working? The lounge leads down to a kitchen of oak-fronted cabinets with a contrasting island of black glass. This all flows out seamlessly to a patio and pool area. Pool with the infinity edge?
Absolutely.
Just made for kicking back and relaxing. As well as the spectacular scenery, the terrace is also the place to appreciate the architecture of this home, which had to marry contemporary styling with the more traditional vernacular of the surrounding Riviera villas.
We made sure that both the flat roof there is pan tile and the garage roof is pan tile in there. And obviously the render on the building as well is not pure white. It has that local feel there. And it's really trying to make sure it's not this glass box that you're just dropping into the middle of this wonderful area.
Vast oak louvers help frame the facade, offering shade from the summer sun while cleverly doubling as balconies for the bedrooms. It's a simple, subtle feature that contributes a natural softness to contrast the home's sharp, angular features. So I can imagine that you get these beautiful moving shadows through the day from those louvers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's fantastic that from the morning to the evening it changes and it just casts this lovely shadow, which just adds lovely shading because it can be quite intense with the sun in the height of August.
There's a calming serenity to this home that's hard to beat. And with its sunken barbecue and pizza oven, this is as much about living outside as it is inside, something appreciated by John's son, Noah.
It's nice when it's summer, when it's hot, and then you can go in the pool.
Yeah.
And it will refresh you so much. And then the barbie is right next to the pool, so...
Swim, eat,
yeah.
swim, eat, swim,
Yeah.
eat, swim, eat.
Yeah.
But it is lovely when you have a house like this and you get a chance to really get to know an area, and there's so much to see, isn't there? Somewhere like, you know, like this.
Yeah, every time we come, we see new things, and it's just exploration. And I think as the children are all learning French, so hopefully my cuisine will get better in restaurants and stuff like that as we move forward. So
You'll be a proper local family.
absolutely.
Well, here's to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well
Well done.
Cheers.
With stunning views and relaxed lifestyle, the lure of the Côte d'Azur is already evident. Later on my journey along this coastline, I get to nosy at one of the world's most exclusive neighbourhoods from on high.
It's really nice to sit here and look down on them. Yes, you can play over there, but we look down on you, which I quite like that thought.
And I tune into a classical home that boasts some amazing acoustics.
So there are at least some 100 speakers in the ground. And that's because good sound should be not just good, it should be also awesome.
I'm in France on the stunning Côte d'Azur. A glittering coastline that's home to the rich and famous. The properties here are as impressive as the private jets and supercars which deliver their owners to resorts like Cannes, Saint-Tropez and Monaco. But there's one gem which is a little less well known. Just along the coast from the bustling city of Nice is the secluded peninsula of Cap Ferrat. This finger of rock and foliage pointing out into the Med was once dubbed the most exclusive place to live on the planet. And even modest homes here around the harbour can cost millions.
But if you can't afford to live in a beautiful place like this, the next best thing is to live looking at it. So I'm going off the peninsula into the hills just over there.
Clinging to the hillsides are hundreds of homes, clambering for a peek of this pricey promontory and the Med beyond. The property I'm here to visit enjoys some of the best views around. This renovated stone-clad 60s villa is home to London-based artist Francine Greenblatt and her property developer partner, John Rabb.
Hello.
Hello, John. Hello, Francine. Lovely to meet you.
Whoa, look at that. But you never get bored of this view, do you?
No. Always changing, always interesting, always different.
Lovely, that mountain as well. It's kind of epic bit of coastline.
Amazing.
It's just a paradise.
But you get some goings on in these houses, don't you?
Yeah.
And the barbecue with a view, huh?
Barbecue with a view. I can barbecue and look out to sea at the same time.
If the scenery outside's breathtaking, then the interior of this home's guaranteed to get your heart racing. Almost every wall is adorned with Francine's vibrant, risque paintings.
Wow. You can't miss that, can you?
Well, it's max of ego, I have to say, but it is what it is. So.
It's an important part of our lives, and here in south of France with the light and colour, I mean, these paintings just come to life.
The home's more than a gallery for Francine's creations, though. From the uber-smart German kitchen with granite surfaces and glass splashbacks, to authentic 1960s retro in the living room.
Some of these features, like the balustrade and the fireplace, they're original, aren't they?
Yes, yes.
So you've sort of kept that.
Well, initially, when I saw that balustrade, I thought, oh, my God, it's awful. And also, the columns that support the lower to the top patio are triangular. And I thought, oh, my God, it's out of proportion, it's out of scale, but actually, it's just right.
But there's something about 60s design that, on one level, you think, oh, but then I actually go, you know what, it's really quite classy. It's quite brilliant in its sort of way.
Francine and John have certainly injected their own eclectic elegance onto this home, which they bought 4 years ago. But back then, it was a warren of small, dingy rooms, very much stuck in the past.
When we came here, we just got blown away with the view, and I wasn't that keen on the house itself, but Francine's got the ability to look at something and not see what it is, but see what it could be.
Francine immediately set about opening up the house, ensuring that the key living space is connected with the glorious seascape outside.
I love the way all of the rooms have this fantastic view. It's a nice piece of design, that.
From the upper floor sleeping and living areas, stone tiles draw you to a delightful staircase of polished beech and white-painted metal.
I really like the balustrades.
Simple straight lines, nothing fancy.
Very nice, sort of in keeping with the 60s original house.
Yeah, yeah.
This lower level is very much Francine's domain.
What a fantastic studio. Studio with a view.
I know.
But you don't get much painting done because you're just staring at this view all day.
Do you know what? It's almost blasphemous to make any mark on a bit of canvas when this is out here.
And look, lovely pool, another terrace down there.
No.
Another barbecue. You are serious about your barbecue, aren't you?
We like our barbecue. Well, we spend a lot of time on this level, so it's a long way to walk up to the top.
Francine and John's exemplary renovation has given them a cool home that oozes the timeless style of the Riviera. A location to embrace their love of art, enjoy the finest Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
All while keeping an eye on what the neighbours are up to.
It is really nice to sort of sit here and look down on Cap Ferrari. I mean, I know it's incredibly exclusive, but look down on them. Yes, you can play over there, but we look down on you, which I quite like that thought, you know. And it's just such a wonderfully dramatic location. I mean, the mountain and the peninsula and the hill wrapping round. I think it's wonderful. I think it's lovely. I think it's a beautiful location. Salute.
Chin chin.
As the sun dips low over the Bay of Angels, it's easy to appreciate what's attracted people to settle along this enchanting stretch of the Med for almost 2 millennia.
While there are bits of the coast that are peaceful and tranquil, they are usually the preserve of the elite. But if you head inland a few miles, you can find your own perfect bit of paradise.
From the Riviera coast, I'm heading into the foothills of the Alps Maritime Mountains to the historic village of Peymenard. Set amongst a lush landscape of olive groves and orange trees is a fascinating property, whose architecture has evolved through the ages. From Roman hill fort through to phenomenal 21st century villa. This is Le Castile. The current custodians of this awe-inspiring home are Swedish academics B and Peter Larsson.
Clearly this is a pretty old building, and you don't see a lot of old buildings in this area. What's the story behind it?
The former mayor in town has told me that this is the oldest house in the whole area. And you can see the old Roman wall. On the backside, you can see clearly signs of an old structure. And then you can say that every 100 years, there is a new addition. This part of the building is from the 1600s. You can see the tower, 1841.
That's the newest part.
That's the newest part.
The mock medieval watchtower may be a relatively recent extension, but it's an architectural nod to the home's original incarnation, known locally as a bastide.
So it would have been a defensive farmhouse structure?
Yeah, indeed it is. And you can see it with this small open where you can put out some weapons to protect you.
With each generation came renovation. However, B and Peter's plans to upgrade their pool were scuppered thanks to a rather famous ex-resident.
We wanted to do a new, bigger pool because this one is not that big. And we had the guys to do the permit. And they said, well, you can build a new one, but you need to have this one still preserved because they remembered when they were young boys how they were climbing in the trees to have a look of Brigitte Bardot.
Brigitte Bardot had the house.
During her all-time high, when she just became very popular, she rented it. She didn't own it, but she rented it.
So Brigitte Bardot has swam in that pool?
Yes.
In that very pool?
Yes.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's history. You've got Roman ruins, you've got Brigitte Bardot. I mean, it's all here.
While a bathing Bardot may have prevented certain exterior alterations, later I'll discover how B and Peter totally transformed this magnificent home's interior.
What a lovely room. It's like a proper formal salon.
And meet the designer with a laid-back outlook on life by the Med.
I'm noticing a rather finely located hammock.
You've actually got to book a spot for it in the summer months.
I'm on the glamorous Côte d'Azur, discovering some of its A-list homes. So far, I've marvelled at the modern close to Saint-Tropez and been astounded by an arty villa above the exclusive resort of Cap Ferrat. Now I'm in the evergreen foothills of the Alps Maritime Mountains, visiting an ever-evolving farmhouse owned by Swedish academics B and Peter Larsen since 1998. Once home to Brigitte Bardot, its renovated interior is as classy as its former film star resident.
What a lovely room.
Exuding a bucolic elegance that's one part Renaissance chateau, another Provençal farmstead.
Didn't expect the ceiling heights are massive, aren't they? It's like a proper formal salon and a sweeping staircase.
Yeah, this is all original, you know.
Wrought iron balustrades and coarse stone walls are juxtaposed with elegant mirrors and period panelling. For me, the standout features are the original 10-feet-high windows, allowing light to flood in and providing spectacular views of passing clouds in the valley below.
Tell me about these beautiful windows, because this is almost Renaissance, you know, with the big round arch at the top.
It is, it is.
The glass is absolutely stunning with the kind of the rippling in it, but the windows are really kind of large, aren't they?
It's not that many years ago you had to pay taxes from the sizes of your windows. So that's why so many houses all over France have small windows.
They wanted to show that they could afford. So when they built this part, that was a wealthy period in their life.
From antique French windows to a more recent Swedish necessity, the sauna. This is a home full of joie de vivre, inside and out. Stroll onto the terrace and amongst manicured gardens are two magnificent swimming pools that would make Bardot green with envy.
Wow, what a location. I can just imagine sort of floating around in here with a nice glass of wine.
That's really something new that has come.
So you added all of this, all of the pools and everything?
To just be out and bask in the sun. I mean, it's so that's a must.
The infinity pools aren't just visually inviting. There's an unexpected oral experience awaiting bathers courtesy of music fanatic Peter.
Of course, there are loudspeakers in the pool, so you can swim in the middle of the night.
Right, and of course there are.
Yeah, and you can listen to Debussy or whatever you want to listen to. So there are at least some 100 speakers in the ground. And that's because that tends to be one of my hobbies, good sound. And it should be not just good, it should be also awesome.
When you live here, you are really enjoying the pleasure of life. And that is what they are so good at in these regions at Côte d'Azur. I mean, it's a part of the lifestyle.
This is certainly the place to listen, lay back and while away sunny summer days. But should a little light exercise tempt you from your poolside slumber, then there's always the traditional French boule court.
Ooh. Ah, pressure. Peter, don't let the pressure get to you, mate. Oh! Wait a second. I think B's got it.
Yeah, two guys competing and they destroy everything and giving it away.
So that's me.
That's you. You won. But I have to say, I think what you've done in terms of bringing this house into the 21st century, but respecting the history, is perfect. And the location, look at that. It's beautiful.
If experiencing the Côte d'Azur's unique joie de vivre on a more permanent basis is high on your agenda, then buying your own Maison by the Med could be the answer. For film fans, this harbourside three-storey apartment in Cannes is a real Hollywood A-lister. Its premier position and balcony swimming pool provide ample opportunity to view the oi polloi below. However, the agents won't roll out the red carpet for less than £10 million. If your budget's more B-movie than blockbuster, this rustic farmhouse close to Monte Carlo might be more your style. It's only one bed, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in traditional charm, including a gorgeous outdoor terrace. And at a bargain 280 grand, it's yours for the price of an Oscar goodie bag. In the hills near Saint-Tropez is this eye-popping pink, six-bed modern villa that's really box office. It boasts an infinity pool, open-plan living area, and a shaded balcony from which to soak up the sea views. But you'll need to be feeling flusher than Leonardo DiCaprio to afford this vision in fuchsia. It's got a price tag of £2.3 million. The French Riviera is certainly a magnet for money. But it's also possible to enjoy a stripped-back, simple life here. From Peymenard, the next home on my Côte d'Azur schedule is just 2 miles northeast, nestling in a rural valley close to the town of Grasse. This area's unique microclimate produces flowers in abundance, and with it, fragrant scents, earning it the title of the perfume capital of the world. Partially obscured by olive trees, this mas, a traditional farmhouse, once belonged to a chapter of perfume-making monks. Enjoying its monastic tranquility now is candle designer Gary Simmons from Surrey.
They used to grow a lot of the flowers here for the perfumeries.
So they'd grow the flowers, take them into grass, turn them into essential oils.
Exactly. And then get the geniuses to put them together in perfumes.
But it's very beautiful, isn't it? It is a pretty amazing spot, isn't it? How far up from the coast are you here?
I'm about 20 minutes up from Cannes, from here.
How long have you been here?
Well, I've lived in France for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I've been up here now for nearly 3 years.
Right, so you spent quite a long time down in the kind of the melee before going, gotta head to the hills.
Exactly.
And you work with candles, and I know candles, scented candles and all of that stuff. Is that part of what drew you to this area?
Exactly. To be close to the perfume capital of the world is perfect.
I suspect the outstanding scenery was also part of the attraction. Sitting 1,000 feet above sea level, Gary's home embraces truly spectacular views down towards the Mediterranean.
And right behind you there, I'm noticing there's a rather finely located hammock.
Yes, yes.
Does that get much use, that hammock?
That hammock gets a lot of use, yeah. You've actually got to book a spot for it in the summer months.
Because it is beautifully quiet, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just fantastic. Should we go look at the house?
Sure, let's do it.
Befitting of the previous religious residents, Gary's 200-year-old home exudes a charming frugality. The kitchen's a melange of styles where mid-century units collide with copper farmhouse cookware. Throughout, there's a wealth of mahogany furniture. Dark wood's often considered unfashionable now, but here I think it bolsters a sense of rustic richness. And no more so than in the living room.
Well, it's lovely, isn't it? It's really simple and kind of very honest.
That's a nice expression. Yeah, it has so much character by itself. It's been here for so long, so it was just enhancing a few things, but not changing it too much. In this region, every doorway, every shutter has a story to it. And you can find that the same in the furniture, in the textures. So to keep it traditional, there's more character to it, I find.
Well, I think it's wonderful, and actually, it's very cool. You know, I think it's a really cool house. I love it. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
His home may be the epitome of stripped-back simplicity. But venture down through the olive grove to the bottom of the garden, and more flamboyant creativeness is revealed.
So this is your studio?
This is my studio here, yeah.
It's from this simple shed that Gary designs an extraordinary variety of textured, carved and shaped candles.
You don't need a big space to actually produce candles. With this amount of moulds, one candle maker in this space could actually make about 100 candles a day. And then from there, it's just your imagination.
So you can just take that and then start to play and
yes, exactly.
try different techniques.
And these are the different possibilities.
Given the proximity close to grass, aromatics are crucial to creating these wonders of wax.
So that's coffee beans?
That's coffee beans with a coffee scent to it and finished a certain way so that you can expose the objects.
That definitely
Some of it's top secret.
Is it? Oh, would you have to kill me if you told me?
And when it's time to down tools, there's an enviously idyllic outdoor terrace to enjoy the sunshine and sea views. Gary's the definition of living the dream.
Do you ever think about moving back to Blighty? What about moving back to England?
Let's put it this way. My brother, who's also in the same business as me, has no hair. And he's younger than me, so...
So the stress and the kind of the pace of life in England, it's not for you anymore?
No, I think at different stages of our life, we want different things. And at this stage of my life, this is perfect.
Sat on the patio, it's hard to disagree with Gary. This laid-back way of life could just be perfection. Later, my journey along the Côte d'Azur is going high octane as I take a trip through Monaco with a former racing driver.
I ended up in the barrier.
You're still angry about it, aren't you?
Well, it was a long time ago, but it's still...
And discover a home that encapsulates the entire Mediterranean region through the art of an inspired individual.
He decided he would paint every wall in the house himself.
Just by him?
Just by Ferdinand Beck.
Wow.
I'm on the final leg of my travels along the beautiful Côte d'Azur in the southeast of France. However, for my next destination, I'm actually leaving the French Riviera and heading to a country that crams in more properties per square foot than anywhere else on the planet. I'm going to the Principality of Monaco, an independent microstate and the world's smallest coastal country.
Monaco is home to some of the world's wealthiest people, and that is due in part to the low taxes. But it is tiny, 2.02 square kilometers. And that mix of very small size and massive demand has resulted in this dense, high-rise living.
Standing cheek by jowl, these towering blocks of concrete don't exactly float my architectural boat. However, here it's not about design, but dollars. And 1 million of them buys you a mere 55 square foot of space, making it the world's priciest place to live. And despite splashing all that cash, you've got to be prepared for a bit of noise. For the last 80 years, the country has hosted the famous Grand Prix, where the world's best racing drivers are put through their paces on this narrow, dangerous street circuit. Someone who knows these roads better than most is Alan McNish, retired Formula One driver and Monaco resident.
So I think I'm right in saying it is the densest inhabited country in the world?
Yep, exactly right. My son told me that a couple of weeks ago. It's smaller than Central Park, and there's over 35,000 inhabitants here, of which there's about 5,000 are actually Monegasques themselves.
I mean, I suppose if you want a bit of space and to experience the outdoors, you just have to leave the country.
Literally, yes. 100 metres, you're in another country, and then you go up into the hills. Then you're just into, you know, south of France, the Côte d'Azur, but it's stunning, stunning countryside.
To get a different perspective on this ultra-exclusive country, I'm going to see it through the eyes of a racing driver.
Ready?
Yes, right. Is this the start-finish line?
Yes, this is the start-finish line now. And then we go up into Saint Devote, the patron saint of Monaco, actually.
Ah.
My son learned about this in the Monegasque class.
And can you speak it? How's your Monagasque?
Absolutely not. But my son is top of the class in it.
But he's got a language spoken by how many people?
About 5,000.
5,000.
Driving around these streets, they feel like they're paved with gold.
Beautiful casino
so that's
on
the
right-hand side. Hotel de Paris on the left.
Yep.
These opulent landmarks help draw in the world's super rich, which in turn fuels an exorbitant property market where new penthouses can cost an eye-watering £240 million.
Oh, this is this brilliant corner, isn't it, where you can, if you're amazingly good, get on the inside on that hairpin, can't you?
Exactly. You can ride a bicycle faster than you can go around here in a Formula 1 car.
No.
And a bike would probably beat our sports car thanks to speed limits almost as low as the taxes.
Why are there all these supercars in Monaco and you can only go 30 miles an hour?
50 kilometres per hour. But I don't think the car is driven here for the performance, it's more for the show.
Yeah.
It's Disneyland for adults.
It's certainly a place where dreams can come true if you manage to keep your car on the road.
Your race is over if you make the slightest mistake. You know,
there's no runoff areas.
Nothing at all. I ended up in the barrier just by the, you know, half a tenth of a second.
You're still angry about it, aren't you?
Well, it was a long time ago, but it's still...
I can hear it in your voice.
But while racing drivers and the super rich might flock to Monaco's crowded hillsides, just a few miles along the coast, there are places where you're able to revel in secluded serenity. For the final part of my tour of the Côte d'Azur, I'm heading 5 miles from Monaco to Menton, a town within touching distance of the border with Italy. There's definitely an Italian ambience to this area, It feels more Florentine than French. And meandering through exquisitely landscaped gardens of cypress and olive tree, you're easily enveloped in a stillness, an almost Tuscan tranquility. Nestling amongst the verdant evergreens is a vivid splash of crimson, and the home I'm searching for, Les Colombières. This vibrant hilltop mansion is owned by former retail boss Michael Lickerman from London. However, the genius responsible for creating this wonderful home is Ferdinand Bach, a celebrated landscape architect and illustrator from the early 20th century.
Tell me about Ferdinand Bach.
Well, he's a fascinating man. He was born German in Stuttgart in 1859. He was a very good artist, designer, drawer, and he went to Paris to study, and he came here and he found this house, which didn't look at all like this at that time, and it was in the middle of an olive grove.
Inspired by classic Mediterranean architecture, Bach remodeled what was a modest villa into this enormous regal residence in the early 1920s. But what he really wanted was the space to indulge his passion for the region's diverse cultures through art.
He decided he would paint every wall in the house himself, and he did. So the frescoes that you've seen, all of the rooms.
Just by him?
Just by Ferdinand Bach. He spent 5 years supervising the building of the house and painting every wall in the place. What he did was to take all the elements of the different civilizations around the Mediterranean, from North Africa to the east, through to Italy, to France, to Spain. So you have a bit of Roman and a bit of Sicilian there, and you also have a nice medieval bridge there.
Exactly, so it's kind of like just, yes. I don't really mind. I'm just picking images and whacking them together.
It's all his own mind, his own imagination, and this house is, in that sense, his masterpiece.
Emerald tiled bathrooms are inspired by Persia, while Greek landscapes feature in intricate stained glass windows. Throughout, there's a profusion of gorgeous Italian marble, from ornate drinking fountains through to this substantial dining table. And shapely Palladian windows peer down to pretty Menton below.
Well, should we go and explore the house?
Let's do it.
Lead away.
Ascend the white marble staircase, and Bach's passion for the Mediterranean continues in the home's 13 bedrooms. There are African birds in the parrot room, while imaginary windows offer Sicilian views in the violet room. With a surfeit of sleeping quarters to choose from, Michael opted for one that would encourage relaxed slumber.
What's the inspiration behind this room?
Well, Spain. It's all very Moorish, it's romantic, wonderful, starry skies, and it's the only night scene, which is why I like sleeping here. And it has this lovely Latin tag, Fons candid. The fountain stills, sleep steals over you, fortuna fugit, fortune flies away. So the answer is don't sleep if you want to watch your fortune.
A large part of Michael's fortune did desert him after buying Les Colombières 21 years ago. Then the house was in a severe state of disrepair, and Michael spent £3 million and 5 years painstakingly renovating it back to its former glory, albeit with the occasional spectacular addition of his own. Such as this pool surrounded by Roman-inspired columns in homage to Bach.
What's it like living in an historic monument of this sort of calibre?
Well, it's wonderful because everything you see in all directions is lovely. It's harmonious, either the views outside or the actual way in which things are. So it's a great feeling to live in a place that's actually beautiful.
Thanks to Michael, Ferdinand Buck's Mediterranean marvel has been preserved for future generations to admire. And as the sun sets on my tour, it's fair to say what I've discovered on the French Riviera has been a revelation.
When you think of the Côte d'Azur and the Riviera, you think of high living, of glitz and glamour, of places like Saint-Tropez, Cannes, and here in Monaco. And while I've been here, I have definitely seen that. But I've also come to appreciate something slightly more subtle, the tranquility and amazing landscape that attracted the beautiful people here in the first place. So this really is a part of the Mediterranean where you can experience the best of both worlds.
Next time, I'm in Spain and the beautiful Balearic island of Mallorca, where contemporary homes are carved into imposing cliffs. Traditional architecture provides towering views, and rotund orange residences have hearts of pure gold.
That is about the goldest shower I have ever seen.
Phil Spencer's chosen location, the White Cliffs of Dover for coastal walks with my dog. That's tonight at 8. And at 8 o'clock tomorrow, a place where they taught espionage in World War I, one of Paul Merton's secret stations. Next tonight, it's the Channel 4 News.